Here we go. Another election analysis. Female state committee election in New York City. Who even knew there was a state committee? And I guess now it's not even allowed to have female and male, so now it's just state committee person, I guess. And this will look at every election in 2022 that had to do with female state committee election. And it'll show the winner for every election district. So you basically can see the block level voting and who's voting for who. Now, this shows a little embedded one, but I recommend going to the live map. And we'll make this even better by putting it in a more organized, searchable database. And that should help. But here's what it looks like. The areas in black had no elections, so they're just blacked out. But I guess people that know this stuff know their assembly districts, and so this is what it's showing. It's showing the person that ran and the assembly district, because I think it's a little tricky. For state committee person, I think it's by assembly district. So that's what that little number means. And that's actually pretty well organized. So let's look at 57. Now the colors added another feature is every election district gets its own little color, and the deeper the color, the more opacity or more opaque, it means that it had more votes. So if you see a faded outline, that means it's comparing everything for that assembly district, and it's trying to find the election districts, that voted a lot. Like, let's say there were 400 votes in one election district of that assembly district. It's comparing against that 400, so it's a percentage of that. So if another one voted 3 votes or something, it'll be 3 over 400, which is a very low percentage, right? So you can see areas like this here might have high votes. Now we could show the votes too, but there's only so much you can show. And the color means that candidate got the plurality or the highest vote count for that assembly district. Election district. This is so confusing, I apologize. But this is definitely 57, assembly district, yes. And you could see this Shawana Boykin won a lot. Now there's something sticking out here. 52 is sticking out along whatever street that is. That's probably Flushing. Yeah, Flushing. So it sticks out because they need a certain number of votes in every, or at least voters in every area. And here we see a battle in 52 between Lydia Bella Green and Cheryl Cook. We'd have to look up who won, but from here it looks like a certain area, it's typical. A certain area votes for one, and a certain area votes for another, and it's probably where they live. They know the people near their block but look at, this 52 is pretty big. It takes over all of Henry Street. Wow. So it looks like this Cheryl Cook. No, Lydia seems to be doing better, right? Because she has this whole area over here. Now we're crossing into 51, where it looks like someone named Jackie Painter won, and there was only a few other candidates, or at least one other candidate, Aurelius Martinez. But Jackie Paper, she won a lot. And we can just go around. Oh, yeah, look at her. She's all over the place here. 51. 51 is a very odd-shaped district. Wow. I think it has Red Hook, too. Is this Red Hook? Yeah, this is Red Hook. And it runs along 3rd Avenue. Yes, 23. So the next one is Bay Ridge area, and it looks like there was Dion Brown Jord, and this might be cut off because it cuts off at 20 characters, versus Angela Ravchenko. And it looks like Angela may have won because she seems to have more election districts. Now, if we go over here and there's other ones. Coney Island seems to be this Dion Brown Jord, right? And this was 2022, remember, so things may have changed. Some of these people get in the news. So if you look for Dion Jordan is probably her. Brown Jordan. Let's see, crime maybe. Crime or charge or something. Yes. So there is allegations of fraud. And that's typical of these people. I currently female district leader. I think that's what they call themselves, district leader. But the election calls them state committeemen. And looking into appointment of dead people. So she appointed dead people to, it appears, alleged. Eric Gonzalez. Now she invited him to a holiday party. It's just amazing what you find if you just search on these names. All right, so you can also flip this into like 3D mode, which is kind of cool. And now Bergen Beach, it's actually easier to read like this, and it looks like Roxanne won this Persad, seems to have won this Canarsie area. She's in 58. Let's see if there's anybody even running. Yes, there was someone. You see how it's neighborhood based. This Esther Debbie Lewis ran also, and she must live in this section in Canarsie, Roxanne. Oh, there looks like there's 3 people here. Mercedes. Oh, no, this is a different district. 59 is a whole nother district. And it looks like Persad just won. There was very little competition, this Naomi Hopkins. Now, Nikki, if you go into 60, I don't know how it jumps. 59, 60. Okay, so this 58 sticks out over here. I'm sure this Canarsie is the old Presidio, or not Presidio, whatever his name, Sedio area. I wonder, I think he's 57, I thought, so he must be, thought he was 57. I don't know, I don't even keep track anymore. Maybe 57 doesn't even have an election at this time. There's another one that's 54, and it was just dominated. Well, no, it looks like it was dominated by this Arlene. I cut it off at 20 characters because some people's names are too big. And then there's another one over here. This one is, this is just the women one, but I think they got rid of women and men, and now it's all mixed together. Yeah. So the Elmhurst area. No, go back over there. Go back over there. Because nobody's getting in. So, So this is the area, Elmhurst area. So now, but I guess Elmhurst is not having an election. So here is another area, Stephen Gonzalez, Flushing Bay. So Queens 34, and it looks like their areas. Yeah, they're in order, I think, to get into the voting booth, there has to be some contest. So it makes sense that there would be at least two people. Otherwise, if it's just one person, they don't even put it on the ballot. It's just automatic. But it's usually the case that one of them is much more organized and has a lot of votes, and the other one just has... But sometimes it's very close. Here's Stephanie Gonzalez in 34. And again, the deepness of the color means that they won it by a lot, right? So the deeper the color, so it looks like she won this one by a lot here. And they have bigger election districts because they have less people density. There's Steinway, and here's another one called probably Astoria here, Vernon Boulevard. Yeah, this might be Astoria. And I know it's hard to read sometimes, but if you zoom in, 36th Assembly District is Danielle Brecker. And basically this just shows that not everything is competitive. Oh, and if you go over to Roosevelt Island maybe, or Manhattan. Yeah, okay, Roosevelt Island, I don't think gets its own. No, see, it's part of Manhattan. It doesn't get its own assembly district. It doesn't have enough people. But 76, it joins with Manhattan. And wow, this is a big one. Looks like the East Side has very low people density, or maybe they don't vote. I don't know. You would think they would vote. But yeah, this Joyce Short competed against Erica Valdemar, and it looks like Valdemar had a lot more. And the colors simply outline the election district, and also the deeper the color, the more the higher the vote compared to the rest of the assembly district. You can even zoom in and see the streets. And let's not ignore the Bronx. So we're going up towards the Bronx. Here's Harlem, and it looks like there was some competition there in 68. And let's go up to the Bronx, and there's some competition in 84 for the female seat, which now is gone. 84, there's Clarissa versus Anya. Let's see what else we see for, yeah, there doesn't, Morrison, it looks like there's no elections up here. Yeah, it looks like there's not a lot of elections in the, oh, here, a few more elections up here in the Bronx. I don't know, oh, because the other ones are probably no one's running, or it's not contested. It looks like the Bronx is waking up, and they're getting more state committee people. But it's cool to see how it divides along neighborhood, right? You see how there's a block of green here and a little splotch of red. That just shows the way voting happens. Usually is somebody's organized in one area. Oh, look at this. It looks like there's 3 people maybe. Jacinta Dela Cruz. Look at this, all 72. Here's 3 people. Jacinta. There's Argentina? Yeah, Argentina Cruz. That's Dela Cruz. Okay, so it's, I don't know if they're related. One's Cruz and the other one's Dela Cruz. That's probably not the same. And then in the same 72, there's Mary Richmond, who won her little area. This is probably where she's from, up here. And look at, there was a lot of fighting, or a bigger race there in upper Manhattan, the upper part of Manhattan. And the Cloisters also had a race, and it looks like it was kind of won by this Maria Luna. And there we go. It just keeps going. The 70, and then there's a boundary to 68. Yeah. Now here's an unusual one. This person just won some random, or had a plurality in random election districts. They're not even joined together. Stephanie Arroyo, but still this other person seems to have won, Tamika Matt. And this position is unpaid and volunteer, and I think it's really their stepping stone or something to become some other candidate. So that's the way this thing works. That's why I'm looking at the state committee men, because it's such a bizarre thing that people probably don't even know about. All right, peace out. This maps are really cool. And if you have ideas for the maps or build your own maps, It would be nice to be able to do this for every election in the whole world, or in the whole United States at least. It'd be nice to do this for the presidential election. I don't know. I know New York City kind of publishes that data, but I can't seem to find it at the election level through an API. I asked AP, but the AP News, but they just seem to think you have to pay for it or something. I don't know. Anyway, if anybody knows how to get this data or wants to talk about it or collaborate or understand it, I can do, or we or anyone can do all the elections. I focused on this women's state committee men, just to see, committee person, just to see what it would be on the map. And of course, you can't do multiple elections that overlap because the map is just 2D, and it would get really confusing because it's the same areas. In this case, it's assembly district, and there's also races at the election district level, and then there's state senate. So the Senate has its own district boundaries. There's Senate boundaries, and there's assembly district boundaries, or Senate district boundaries, I guess they call them. But we don't really use the Senate ones except for the Senate race, I believe. And then there's also the whole state, of course, and governor, and things like comptroller, things like that. And judges, I'm not even sure how judges work. All right, peace out. Let me know if there's any questions.